Hey guys and gals, I got another one for you today. Today I'm in my E100 platooned up with Drewski. He's in his IS-4. We're on Redshire 1944 variant. So we roll from one tier 10 German heavy tank to another. And this tank is a absolute beast, but you gotta know how to play it. And I say that because Drewski and myself, I believe this was both our first or second tier 10 heavy. My second for sure. I had the IS-7 before this. But it's very intriguing as a new player. Able to hit for high alpha. It's got armor that's usable. Mobility isn't the mouse, but it's not excellent either. But as a new player, this thing plays a lot differently. And Drewski and I were both pretty bad with it. I'm not turning our turrets to utilize the armor. Not really understanding map locations as much as we do now. But let's get on with the game. So our team, a lot of our team is in B8. I don't know if it's because they're too slow to get up here or if they were a little late coming over. I wasn't paying attention. It looks like they are coming now. Me and Drewski just made a quick play to get over here. In 1944 variant, I would say this side is less important just because it's more of like a standoff. I'm not saying that's not important, but I just feel like the 1, 2, 3 line can be won a little bit easier with the cover. However, I do feel like the castle is a waste of time. So, if you're a mobile tank, you can get early in the castle, use it for flanking shots, but don't sit there all game. Come over here, try to get a shot into the side of the T-30. We shoot a little high, bounce off his turret. I'm waiting to load up before I come around. Try to angle, but he shoots me through the drive wheel, so that's a good shot. Panzer 7 comes up too high, we're able to get a shot into his turret ring. T-30 thinks hull down is a thing. Just gonna shoot him in the top cap. Really, we just need to hit the top of his turret here. And we bounce. I'd hit a little flush, and I hit it high to the left, so it just ricocheted off. But he definitely has a lot of high. He has a big alpha gun that I don't want to get hit by again, so we're going to try to deal with him. We're able to get the second shot into his turret, and then my mouse buddy takes him down. So very important here. This play is very dangerous to make. A lot of the times there'll be a lot of tank destroyers and arty down in like K6 through K9, and they can potentially get shots on you here. So if you do commit to going over this hill, try to get to the bottom and stay to the right, just so at least there's houses in between you and the guys on the K line. We focus down the Panzer 7 that leaves the Super Conqueror by itself. Try to take his track off here, or just wipe him off my mouse, which I do. You take a big shot in the back, but we hit the Super Conch, and then we're able to turn around. 6-4. Looks like we're going to lose the other side. However, they're positioned pretty well to where the red team's going to drive into a crossfire. I don't know why people go into A1. Well, I do actually. So people that go to A1 are generally waiting for their team to lose the flank, and then they'll be able to get flanking shots. And that's obviously not the best position to go to on any map, because if you're waiting for your team to die, you're already going to be at a disadvantage. So it's more important to get your gun in the game, get in a spot where you can affect the game throughout the whole battle rather than after you've lost the choke. It's kind of a lot like the K-line, except the K-line's a little bit different because if they come over that hill like we did, they're pretty open shots, and you can deal with them a lot easier than from A1 where the guys coming out of the castle on the one line have a little bit more cover from the houses over there. Big shot at the Patton. Fortunately, we bounce off of him. Drewski's pushing forward with me. We both lost quite a bit of health. The Patton takes Drewski out, or their E4 takes our M103, and their ship barn takes our FE202. So it's now 8-8. The big difference is we have Artie, and Artie is always the game balancer. So we're going to push forward. Now after I take the 890 line, to me the most important thing is to get back to the 5 line. Now there's different approaches to take, and it depends on where your team is set up and how to cross this open middle. Sometimes it's going back across the B line, sometimes it's cutting across like the E line using the river kind of, and the houses in the middle of the map as cover to get over. And then sometimes you can just push the G line, and if you're mobile and you're fast, you can go down like the 9-0 and get on the K line, and there's cover down there. But just figuring out where your team is set up, where the Reds are set up, and what needs to happen as far as getting across to the 5 line, because if you just sit on the 890, you're pretty much now like the tanks on A1, and you're not going to help your team until they all die. And then it's going to be up to you to carry the game. And honestly, after we won the choke, I didn't have enough hit points to really carry the game by myself, nor would I want to sit stagnant in a position waiting for my teammates to die. It just seems silly. So somehow they've killed our guys in A1. I mean, they must have been poking up from there. Had they just kept their head down, once the tanks on the 1 line engage the guys on the 5 line, then the tanks in A1 can poke out and shoot them in the side. However, if the A1 just tries to make it an engagement, then obviously they die, and that's pretty much what happened. So we were going to cap, and their tanks took care of the 2 heavy tanks on the cap, so we're no longer capping, and we are now in a 3v6 situation, but we do have Artie, so I don't count Artie. Even though I said it is the balancing, I still don't count it because it's not a tank. So my Tusk makes a big play, takes the E4 out. That's a very dangerous tank for an E100. The Prem rounds don't really care too much about how angled this turret is. Not to mention it already has good penetration with its AP rounds. So now my goal here is to kind of just light stuff up, but hold the point as long as I can. As long as my scout and my tank destroyer keep their gun in the game, and maybe I can bounce a couple shots. Artie's in play, we can make this happen. So just trying to poke positions, keep people lit up for Artie, and now my Tusk comes over to get set up for an ambush, and that works perfect. Not sure exactly what our tank destroyer is doing, but I mean, he's just laying in the weeds waiting for someone to make a mistake. So come around the corner, 60 TP is hull down. Not too interested in taking that shot, and I don't want to drive over there either because I want him to drive in the open where my Artie can hit him. And Artie gets a shot on him there, but only does 250 damage. If he actually comes out into this open field, I believe my Artie can get a full pen on him, and that should help us get him killed a little bit faster since he pretty much was full health. Ship Barn makes a mistake, and our TD punishes him for it, and the 60 TP is struggling to get his gun depression, which is perfect, because now if he wants to shoot at me and stay hull down, he has to pull way out into that field, and his hesitation costs him time, and Artie's able to aim at him. So we get a shot into the Patton, take him down, and now the Ship Barn is looking for a shot on me. The 60 TP decides to just come over, and the Ship Barn takes him out. And now we are in a 3v2 situation. And it's totally flipped on their heads because the 60 TP went from full health down to a one shot. And we're going to come around the corner. Already slams a 60 TP, so I'm going to be able to get a shot into the Death Star. Hopefully, unless he snapshots me. And we get a beautiful shot right into the drive wheel, light him on fire. He bounced his shell as well. So, very nice game in the E100. Like I said, just have tanks that you like to have fun in, and that will make the grind less grindy. English lesson for the day. So we throw up an ace tanker, 4k damage, 3000 assist, 2300 block damage. Beautiful result in the E100, and that's definitely not something I could do the first time around when I had this tank. Because as a new player, this tank was a struggle for me. I ended up actually hating this tank, and I didn't buy it back until I had pretty much all of them, all the tier 10s bought back, and then I decided to just buy it back, give it another try, and I enjoyed it. So it did get a buff when I first owned it. That was before I had the penetration buffs, and I didn't like to use premium rounds, especially in tier 10, because I didn't have the silver to be able to afford that. So that definitely could have affected my outlook on this tank. But I'll quit babbling. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.